Hey there. You know, two-channel hi-fi is still very alive out there. In fact, two-channel's growing in popularity and demand. And you know, in the big scheme of things, Yamaha's been a two-channel stereo company since the 70s. And this year, in 2013, marks our 125th year anniversary being involved with music and sound. And our engineers in Japan went absolutely nuts when designing this integrated amplifier. This is the AS3000 integrated amplifier. And as you can see, it has all of the connections that you would need in a true hi-fi system. You have single-ended RCA, a pair of balanced inputs, and you have speaker terminals that are built for Goliath. I mean, these things are so big and so large, and to get that nice grip when you're plugging in your speaker wire, it's all there. Obviously, it's gold-plated. On the business end of this integrated amplifier, you see a lot of opportunity. But when you go and look inside, you will notice that there are no visible wires present. That was designed by Japan at YCJ. The engineers in Japan wanted to have an integrated amplifier that if you, for whatever reason, wanted to take the dust cover off and look down inside, it would be a true representation of elegance and power. I mean, the transformer and the capacitors alone are just beyond enormous. You don't see those inside of 9-channel and 11-channel receivers at times. The power and elegance inside is great, but on the front panel, things kind of are interesting. It's a real throwback to the 70s and the early 80s. You just don't see that anymore in two-channel hi-fi. And they really wanted to make a strong effort to make the integrated amplifier resemble some of our heritage from way, way back in the day. Everything's milled aluminum, everything's solid. The volume knob's milled from a solid piece of aluminum. And when you grab this and you take it all the way to zero, there's no question that you're at the end. It's like taking a piece of rock and hitting it against another piece of rock. It is just as solid as can be. And for you hi-fi guys out there that are listening to vinyl, this has a dedicated phono preamp that'll work with moving magnet or moving coil, selectable on the front panel. Tone controls, which we never really use, we keep them straight up at zero, but should you want to have some tone controls, they're there. The meters are just unbelievable. That's what people just sit and stare at. Right now we have them currently set to VU, but if we did change it over to peak, they get a little faster and they focus on the peak. And they're all just shielded behind that nice thick plate of glass. This is just an unbelievable product. We've been more than thrilled not only to show it here at CEDIA, but we also love to play with it in our little audio room back in Buena Park, California. Now, complementing the AS3000 isn't just any old CD player. It's actually an SACD player with CD, but it also acts as an outboard DAC. And whether you need something for legacy products with a Toslink optical or a digital coaxial cable, those are available for you to plug into, and they are selectable as sources. But really, one of the big things that we see out there are folks using a USB connection with their PC, and they're using it as an outboard DAC with their laptops, and they'll run DSD for, you know, just like you would with SACD or anything else. But with DSD, getting that pure stream single bit at extreme speeds and having tons of accuracy with playback performance, DSD is a real big deal in the hi-fi community, and we certainly wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. Inside, you can obviously tell this is not just any old CD player. There's a dual power supply for analog and digital circuitry, copper shielded transformers. Everything is just completely taken over the top, over the edge. There's no solder points inside. Everything's a screw type connection, again with no solder. Solder would hinder some of the current going through it. I mean, just looking at it inside is remarkable. And on the front panel, things are very elegant and simple in design. We have our Pure Direct button. We can select our sources, like we mentioned, for USB, optical, coaxial. We can choose which layer of the CD we want to listen to, whether it be the single layer or the hybrid layer, or whatever layer you have on your SACD. Some of the things that just, little things that really kind of get me going is when you push the eject button on the CD player, when it opens up, it is as silent as can be, and it is a solid piece of milled aluminum. The tray is just unbelievably gorgeous. That exquisite feel when you're using a CD player really sets it apart. Another neat little thing I like is when you play the actual CD, you can't really hear it here in the showroom floor, but if you're at home and you hit the skip button, it is like bolt action, click clack. It is as solid as can be. It's almost military grade. It's just unbelievably phenomenal. And the sound of these two coupled together really, really, really work well. And in the world of hi-fi, we hope we turn some heads. We hope we show you that after 125 years, we're really at it. And if there's one thing Yamaha knows, it's sound.